Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to a new episode of the Carol Azams Show. I am your host, Carol Azams, as you know. On the show today, I have singer-songwriter Claire McMahon, who is joining me all the way from County Down in Northern Ireland. And we are going to be chatting about what it's like to be a musician. Also, I wanted to ask Claire just to find out, what she thinks in her own opinion, what life will be like for musicians like herself, post this COVID pandemic. I'm happy to welcome you to the show as well. I'm glad that you can join me. I am also privileged to have Claire feature in my second book about COVID-19, and I want to take the opportunity to chat to her about that as well and to share about some of the inspiration or what inspired her really to take part in the book project. So Claire, welcome to the Carol Azams Show. I'm happy to welcome you on this show today. I'm glad you can join me. How are you doing today? Please, can you take a moment to introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
Hi Carl, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show, Carl. I'm delighted to be here and delighted to share, this interview with yourself and your viewers.
Can you tell us what first got you into music?
The first thing that got me into music, well, I suppose there really wasn't a first thing. I grew up in a musical household, and obviously coming from Ireland, our Irish culture, we're very musical people anyhow, and being involved, I suppose, doing music in school and things like that. But it's just a natural progression that you'll come into music. So that's really, and then I end up starting to play various instruments, and piano and accordion, and played the church organ, and played in an orchestra, played French hornist. So it's sort of like an a dance band. So music has just always been part of my life.
Who inspired you to become a singer?
Inspiration for being a singer, again, I suppose it was just a process of coming along from singing, say, in the church choir and that, and then in our local community there had been a lot of faces and sort of festivals and that you would have took part in and had been singing. And I suppose then your love of music and your love of songs, people want to be singing them, and when you're a writer, I suppose what I like to do anyhow is to sing my songs so that when it goes onto YouTube and that, the viewers then know exactly the emotions portrayed on that song and the way it should be sung. So that's really where that comes from.
Claire, can you describe how you will normally compose a song? Is this something that all singers are expected to do? Like, can all singers actually compose their own songs?
Compose a song, yes, well, the lyrics can come to me, they're inspirational. I could just be doing something and lyrics come into my head, and if it's at home I'll write them down, and if I'm out then I will record them on my phone. But writing a song, really, you're getting it together, you want to be telling a story and the story to have a meaning, so it sort of comes down to descriptive writing then. So it starts from a verse, chorus, verse, then your middle eight, then your a verse and a chorus again, and that's the way it would be. And as then obviously once the song comes together, there's a lot of editing to be done, when you put the music and the lyrics together, and I can be editing right up to the very last minute until it goes to be recorded here in my own studio. And as for singers, no, not all singers would write their own songs. Some would get them written for them, and then I suppose others would sing cover versions of other artists.
What type of music do you create?
What type of music do I create? All sorts. I have a varied list of songs and that I've written, sort of like from country. In country you've got like country pop, country rock, country ballad, country waltz, the Irish country. And then I write love songs, I write gospel songs, Christmas songs, rock songs, whatever is needed really, or whatever fits I'm writing at the time. So it's varied in the type of music that I would create, and I create all my own music here. I make it all up and play it all up myself here in my studio.
Can I ask you, has this pandemic, interfered with your creative process? People have changed so many of their life plans, and that includes both short-term or long-term plans. I don't know, has this pandemic directly affected you in a way that maybe forced you to change some of your goals in life?
The pandemic, no, it didn't really interfere with my creative process as where work is concerned, because I work here in my studio, and I was able to continue to do that. And I suppose I found with everyone being in the same boat, really, with everyone's emotions were all over the place, and I suppose there was fear and different things. So in fact, what I did was I sat down and I wrote a song, and it was really for everyone else and for our essential workers as well. And I have the DVD. That's the DVD. I wrote this song. You can see this on YouTube. It's called "Send Your Angels," and it's really about facing tough decisions in life and where you go from there. And God sent the angels to give you the answers. So it's a nice song. So that came out of the pandemic for me, which was good, I suppose.
So Claire, you are one of the 120 women who took part in my second book about the stories of lockdown, for which I am very grateful. I feel privileged to have someone like you actually add your voice to the book. So what exactly inspired you to participate in it?
Yes, I did take part in your book, and thank you very much for inviting me to it as well. I think what motivated me to write is we all had the same experiences with lockdown, and we all, everyone, there was no one really knew. Our normality as such had gone, and it made then that I wanted to speak about sort of like not being able to get out and visit, like my mum, for instance, going out to speak to your mum through glass, and not being able to give her a hug was very, very strange. Simple things like going to your church on a Sunday, you couldn't do, everything was closed, getting supplies in, meeting up with friends. The average everyday thing that you would do was just so different. And then I suppose the thing that I learned from it, or took away from it mostly, was to really appreciate everything that you have on a daily basis, and appreciate your family and everyone around you, because as we can see, everything just changes in a second. You just don't know what's coming next. So that's really that, Carol.
What are some challenges you think musicians and singer-songwriters like yourself, for example, would face in the future post-pandemic?
Yes, well, with the pandemic, yes, there will be certain challenges. I think the challenges mostly for singer-songwriters are those who perform, on a regular basis, at maybe at weekends or events and that. It's getting that whole business up and running again, because everything's been closed down for so long. And a lot of singer-songwriters must remember, this is their full-time professional job, Monday to Sunday or whatever. And it was a big loss to them and to the music industry. And I suppose for them, getting their bookings and getting back out again, because hotels and venues and all sorts of clubs have all felt the pinch with lack of finance and that. So it'll be a slow process. As for myself, I don't really go out to perform as such. I just prefer to sing my songs. I put them on YouTube for anybody to hear them and that. And my love really is for writing and creating music. So I wasn't too bad. And I suppose, like everything else, people who want to get back in recording studios and then get the feel for recording and singing and that again, and get back into the creative process, yes indeed. So basically what you see and what you hear on the news about, everybody taking financial hits, I think that's just the same for the music business as well.
Claire, this part, I think I'm going to turn a bit personal. The question really is, which of your songs is your favorite and why?
Which of my songs is a favourite? Let me think. Probably the one, "If You Ever Come to Ireland, Look Me Up," because it's a very jolly little song. It's about where I live in Banbridge in County Down, and it's about, I suppose, our Irish hospitality and our sense of humour. And if you ever come down, look me up and come and knock my door, and there'll be a cup of tea and food upon the table. And that song has done very well worldwide. It has gone out, to different radio stations throughout America and other places all around the world. And in fact, when I was in Spain at a country and western festival a couple of years ago, I was singing it, and there were two groups of ladies from different countries, one from Germany, I think maybe they were both from Germany, but they just loved it. They got into their head and said, we've been singing, if you ever come down and look me up all night. So
I've been wanting to ask this question. Can you please sing a line for us?
yes, okay, then I'll sing you a line. So it goes like this. If you ever come to Ireland, look me up. My door is always open for a chat. There'll be food upon the table and a cuppa or two. So if you ever come to Ireland, look me up.
Yeah, actually, tell me, who wouldn't love to come to Ireland? Thank you for that. Thank you for that lovely performance. I really enjoyed it, and it's a great song. Why I say so? Because I think it's an open invitation for anyone living outside of Ireland to actually visit Ireland. And as for me, with my book about Ireland, my book that has all the instructions and all the information, petty information about coming to Ireland and visiting, and together with Claire's open invitation, who wouldn't want to come to Ireland? So thank you very much, Claire. It's been very interesting having you on the show, actually. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I look forward to chatting with you again, not too long and not too far away from now. So, but I'm just going to say bye for now. So please do look after yourself. It's been a great pleasure. Right.
Oh, thank you, Cara. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you very much. And yes, I look forward to meeting up with you sometime soon. And get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And thank you very much. And have your lovely day as well, Cara, too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. So our viewers, you've heard Claire. She's just sent out an open invitation to anyone who would like to come to Ireland, with a beautiful song and my book, all the information you need to know about Ireland, those little details. Not everything you have to go on the internet, So there is my book for you, and there is Claire's open invitation. Tell me, what is stopping you? Please do visit. We are looking forward to receive you, to see you in Ireland. All right, so thank you, everyone. It's been a lovely show. It's been a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed Claire's rendition there. So until next time, have fun, look after yourself, and be kind. All right, I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.